I don't know what to do about my mother-in-law anymore. I have tried patience and letting it go for a long time, but it's too hard for me to ignore anymore. She is one of the most smothering mother types I have ever met. She doesn't perceive us as adults in our 30s, but instead as her 12-year-old children. My girlfriend and I got into it yesterday because on our 30-minute drive to see her, she called us 3 times. On the second phone call, I sighed when I saw her name pop up, and after the call I was told only I can sigh about my mom. Then, I vented in response. I know you know your mom is a lot to deal with. Don't pretend like she isn't a lot for you to handle. She calls you 5 times a day because you answer 5 times a day. Half these conversations end off with you yelling into your phone, telling her you're hanging up. Then you're upset for the rest of the day. And I have to deal with the mood your mom caused. So yeah, it does affect me too. The first time she called you was to let you know there's parking in the parking lot. Yeah, we know, and we can figure it out. She doesn't need to call us and tell us that stuff. But whatever. I feel like I can't even comment on it, and I have never once commented on her before. But my patience has run out. You're not doing anything to push back, so you're just enabling the exhausting behavior. I've tried letting her do her thing, but I am sorry. As a 34-year-old, I don't need to be reminded to go to the bathroom, having her try to do up my jacket for me, fixing the collar on my shirt, or dipping a napkin in water to wipe my face. I am not a child. I am 34 years old. And she doesn't take no for an answer. It's always, no thank you. No, I am good, thanks for asking, but no. No, honestly, I am okay and good. No, seriously, no. My buttons get pushed where I want to say, okay, please leave me alone. I said no 5 times already. What about that, do you understand? But that would cause a scene, and I can't do that. And I know if I just give in and cave, then she learns that she can keep pressing and I will give in. I look to my girlfriend for help, like, please get your mom to understand I am telling her no. Please get her off my back here. Sometimes she'll see me pleading and step in. Other times, I am left hanging. Every date night we have 2. She calls us on the way to the restaurant. What are you doing? Where are you eating? Don't forget to try this and that. She calls us after we're done eating on the way to our event. How was it? Blah, blah, blah. She calls us after our event. And most of these conversations end with my girlfriend upset. So I am spending $300 on our date night just to have a sour girlfriend because of her mom. Where it becomes my job to say, let it go. Let's get some food and drinks in us, have a good time. You will feel better. Becoming the emotional regulator. We see her bi-weekly for family activities like mini golfing, bowling, movies, etc. But I have lost complete interest in that now. I feel like I only want to see her by myself for birthdays, holidays, and the random dinner to bridge the gaps. But these family day activities, I am genuinely over. When we host her too, she never joins the group. No, she's tidying up our house, organizing our drawers, touching up our picture frames, and fluffing our pillows. Our house is immaculately kept. It's infuriating to watch her go around and add her motherly touch to everything. Don't even get me started on our wedding planning and how involved she is in it. It's such a contrast to my mom because my mom considers us as 34-year-old adults, like we are. Her mom treats us like we're still 10-year-old kids and never lets go of the smothering role. I am told, it's my mom, and I will handle it. But she is not doing anything to actually handle it. And I know her mom frustrates my girlfriend endlessly too. I am tired of watching it. Anyways, maybe I just needed to rant. I don't expect her to cut her off, nothing like that. Maybe I just need to stop joining in the bi-weekly activities to give myself space from her. I have tried talking to my girlfriend about it, but it always results in heavy pushback, like I should learn to just deal with it. I don't know. Maybe my only option is to spare myself from the situation by seeing her less personally. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. If you've openly and honestly communicated how big of an issue this is for you and your girlfriend, just bulldoze through it, denying the effect her mood and behavior have on you after these interactions with her mom, while simultaneously suggesting you're not allowed to feel anything because it's not your mom. Your girlfriend is just as big of an issue as your mother-in-law. Obligatory arsh just no mael. Comment 2. She sounds very enmeshed with her mother and unable to set or maintain healthy boundaries. Have you considered couples counseling? At the end of the day, this is a wife problem, not a mother-in-law one. Your wife is the only one who can sort this. She's being very dismissive and disrespectful of you and your relationship with her behavior. Now, for the update. A month has passed since the last family dinner where things got really tense. That was a rough time, and I thought it would be a while before we went back into that mess. But my girlfriend and I decided to go to a family birthday party for her niece. This was a big deal, and I knew something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. The party was at my girlfriend's sister's house. It was all decorated with balloons and streamers. Same old, same old. I got there early to help set up, but right away my mother-in-law started telling me what to do. She insisted on rearranging the snack table, even though I already set it up. It's like she can't help herself sometimes. I get that she wants to be involved, but she doesn't need to control everything. During the party, she kept interrupting conversations, making everything about her. I noticed guests looking at each other, exchanging awkward glances. They could see what was happening and were probably just as uncomfortable. At one point, I overheard a relative whispering about how controlling my mother-in-law has become. Right there, in the middle of the party. As the evening went on, my girlfriend seemed more and more uncomfortable with her mom's actions. I could see her trying to fake a smile while her eyes darted around the room, avoiding her mom. I suggested playing a game to lighten the mood, but her mom shot down the idea right away. Instead, she announced a family trivia contest where she took over the questions. Guess who was the only one not allowed to answer? At one point, she made an embarrassing comment about my job in front of everyone, and I just wanted to disappear. I excused myself to grab a drink in the kitchen, trying to escape for a second. While I was in there, I found a text from my girlfriend saying she was overwhelmed. I could tell from the tone that she was reaching her limit. When I got back to the party, I noticed her arguing quietly with her mom. It was one of those low conversations where you know it's all bad. The argument escalated, drawing attention from others who paused their conversations. After a tense moment, my girlfriend stormed out of the room, visibly upset. She didn't slam the door, but you could almost hear it in her footsteps. I followed her outside, where she was standing on the porch, trying to calm down. We had a quiet talk about stepping away from family gatherings until her mom changed her behavior. She hesitated, worried about the family's reaction, but eventually agreed to take a break. I could tell it was a tough call for her. The next day, I got a message from a family friend about the party drama. This friend suggested that my mother-in-law was upset about losing control over her daughter. Duh. It was pretty obvious, but I guess some people needed confirmation. I decided to confront her directly at the next family event. I knew it would be messy, but it was necessary. The following week was Thanksgiving, and the family dinner was at my girlfriend's sister's house again. It's like they planned it that way. I prepared a speech to address the ongoing issues before the meal, and I was ready to go. During dinner, my mother-in-law interrupted me as I stood to speak. This was her usual thing. She always has to be the center of attention, and I wasn't about to let her do that this time. I raised my voice and insisted everyone listen to me for once. You could feel the tension in the room. I laid out specific examples of her behavior that had affected my girlfriend and me negatively. The room fell silent, eyes darting between me and my mother-in-law. It was like a standoff, but I was ready for it. She tried to deflect, claiming I was being overly sensitive. Oh, please. I countered her by asking other family members if they felt the same way. A few relatives nodded in agreement, revealing they had also noticed her behavior. It was like a mini rebellion against her. My mother-in-law's face flushed as she realized she was losing support. The girlfriend stood up, backing my points, reinforcing the need for boundaries. She was fired up, and I could see it meant a lot for her to take this stand. Tension mounted, leading to a heated back and forth between my mother-in-law and us. It was a scene right out of a movie. Finally, I declared that we would no longer attend family events unless things changed. This was the line in the sand. My mother-in-law threatened to cut ties with us, claiming we were being disrespectful. I calmly stated I was fine with that, as I needed to protect our relationship. The family dinner ended abruptly, with several guests leaving in shock. I thought maybe this would finally wake her up and make her realize how bad she's been. But no idiots here. She just doubled down on being a controlling diva. Now she's been blowing up my girlfriend's phone non-stop, saying we're the ones ruining the family, and that we're both ungrateful. Like, okay, whatever, I'm just over this whole thing. Edit. My girlfriend and I have decided to take a break from her family until they respect our boundaries. Our relationship is more important than maintaining peace with her mother. Am I the idiot for calling out my girlfriend's lies after she tried to turn my birthday into her dating game? A girl contacted my girlfriend on Instagram when she posted about her birthday. In addition to wishing her a happy birthday, she mentioned that she saw my girlfriend on Bumble almost a year ago. That's how we met. She offered to give my girlfriend a birthday gift, but my girlfriend refused out of respect for me. She also expressed interest in her, telling her how good-looking she is and that she was sad she missed an opportunity to be with her. My girlfriend informed me about the situation and said she wouldn't respond to the girl. I said okay and moved on. About a week later, when we were on FaceTime, she told me she joined an app named Yubo, I think, to make friends. This was fine with me as we are both trying to make new friends, but we made a deal to have access to each other's friendship apps since we are both homosexuals. My girlfriend mentioned that she would be meeting a person she met on the Yubo app for lunch. I asked to see a photo, and it was of the girl who initially contacted her on Instagram. I confronted her about this, and she said, "Oh, I didn't even notice," and I hung up the FaceTime call. Later, she texted me, showing text messages between them, saying that I shouldn't feel like she is going to hurt me or do anything behind my back and that she loves me and I should trust her, and so on. But get this, the text messages she shared with me were from Instagram, not Yubo, and they ended up exchanging numbers. So obviously she knew that this girl had contacted her and continued to talk to her behind my back, then said, "Oh, it's just a girl from Yubo." She said she was sending the texts to show me that there was nothing between them but friendship and that I can trust her. But get this, she lied to the girl about her job, saying she is a software engineer, she is doing a boot camp for it, but she is not actually employed, and she told that girl that was her day job, and the girl responded sounding so impressed. I communicated my discomfort with the situation, as well as the lying about Yubo and Instagram. Additionally, since I am more financially well off, I pay for the dates, give thoughtful gifts, and make sure to be an emotional anchor for her as she figures out her life. I told her over 3 times that I do not feel appreciated or that the relationship is reciprocal and balanced. I expressed that I don't want it to be about money, that there are non-monetary ways to show someone appreciation. I explained all this to her via text, and all she said is she wants to explain herself in person and reassured me that she loves me and will not do anything to jeopardize our relationship as it's important to her. However, she still went out for lunch with this girl. She said it's just lunch, they just want to be friends, and if I want to talk, she can come over for lunch at my place afterward. Additionally, she jokingly asked the girl if she would be the one paying for lunch. I don't know if the girl agreed to go or not, but I feel either way, it's not good. If she paid, I consider that a date, and if she didn't, it's hurtful to know she will spend money to hang out with this other girl. I'm honestly flabbergasted because this is not the first time she's lied. She lies about very small, insignificant things that I tend to brush off. However, she did once lie about keeping my picture with her during a hard time before we started dating. And I felt that was such a messed up thing to lie about because I didn't need that validation. But I let it go and forgave her. I feel that I want to break it off because I don't feel appreciated or completely happy. I like her as a person, I consider her my best friend, so I would say I'm mostly happy but not all the way due to the lack of effort on her part when it comes to dates and thoughtful things for us to do together or just to do for me. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I am okay with ending the relationship despite my feelings for her. And I don't know if I should give her another chance. I feel like there is a small leap between this and cheating, and I don't want to stick around to find out. Any advice? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. There is absolutely no way she didn't know who the girl was the moment they started talking. There is no way none of them brought up the Bumble thing. She is lying to your face. The fact that she asked the other girl to pay for her shows just about what she looks for in a relationship. Just cut any money you give her and you'll see her true colors. Also, she went on a date with someone she knew liked her in a romantic way. That was not a casual lunch with an old friend. It was a meet to get to know each other. You should leave her with her new fling and let her figure things out by herself. Comment 2. She lies to you about anything, and that's all you need to know. This relationship is just going to leave you miserable and paranoid when you're with the next person after you've finally broken up. She doesn't seem that into you if she can't think of ways to show you any appreciation or affection in return for yours. Just be friends with her if you want, but be prepared for a lot of lies about stupid things. You deserve a better match. Now, for the update, I'm back with the tea. It's been just over a week since the last post, and I took some time to think. Things have happened. The day after I posted, my ex-girlfriend came home from lunch with the girl from Yubo, acting super chill about everything. I was like, okay, so nothing happened, right? Wrong. So wrong. That evening, my ex's phone was buzzing constantly, like I was getting serious anxiety from all the notifications. I asked her about it, and she was all, it's just a group chat. But the way she said it, she seemed so distracted. I knew something was up, so I made a bad decision. When she went to shower, I decided to check her social media. It's not something I usually do, but I was feeling super uneasy, so I did it. I know it's wrong, but I did it. I saw multiple messages from the girl on Instagram, some with heart emojis. They were flirting hard. I confronted my ex about it after she got out of the shower. I was like, what's this? And she was all, we're just friends. You're worrying too much. I didn't know what to say. That weekend, my family hosted a barbecue and my ex was invited. She seemed excited to meet everyone. I thought it would be a good distraction for us both. At the barbecue, my ex kept texting under the table. I asked her who she was texting, and she hesitated. She finally said it was just a friend from Yubo, but she avoided eye contact. My younger brother made a joke about relationships, and my ex laughed way too hard. It was weird. I also noticed that she was being overly friendly with a family friend, Tom. He's a cool guy, but the way she was acting was just off. After a few drinks, I jokingly asked her if she had a crush on Tom. She abruptly said it was ridiculous and changed the subject. I let it go, but I was bothered. Later that week, my ex mentioned wanting to go out with the girl from Yubo again. I said we need to talk and suggested a coffee date instead. I wanted to talk about us, not her and the other girl. During the coffee date, my ex revealed that she was going to a concert with the girl. I asked her about the concert, and she seemed evasive, like she didn't want to tell me something. I went to look up the concert and found out it was a big event, like a super popular band. Then I found out it was the same night as my birthday. She didn't even mention that. I was hurt. That night, my friends planned a surprise party for me. It was awesome. Everyone was there, and we were having a great time. But my ex was acting weird. She was texting a lot and barely engaged with the guests. It was like she was somewhere else. Then, out of nowhere, she announced she had to leave early. I followed her outside, asking if everything was okay. She claimed she had to meet a friend but didn't say who. It was just all so suspicious. The next day, I found an unopened message from my ex on my phone. It included a screenshot of a flirty conversation with the girl from Yubo. I was like, what the actual hell? I confronted my ex about the message, and it caught her off guard. She admitted they had been flirting but insisted it was just fun. Like, what? Then she suggested an open relationship as a solution. I was shocked. Like, really? Edit. Looking back, I realized she had lied about small things before, but I didn't think it meant anything. I feel like she used me to feel secure before trying to cheat. She has apologized and is begging for another chance, but I am unsure what to do. It's just too much. Am I the idiot for asking my wife to cut ties with her friend's husband after he confessed feelings for her? I have been married to my wife for 7 years and have 2 children together. She has a friend who is also married. My wife had been friends with Samantha for a few years, and Samantha and Rob had a long-distance relationship. Rob lived in a different city. Rob then moved into the city, and my wife and I would hang out with them quite frequently. Samantha developed feelings for my wife and was constantly flirting with Maddie. This did not bother me as I was secure in my relationship and knew Maddie did not feel the same way. This was on and off for a while and slowly died down. Then, after a year or two, Rob confessed feelings for my wife, Maddie, unexpectedly. I was very uncomfortable with this situation, as was Maddie. We stopped talking and hanging out with them for a few months to let things settle. After these few months, Maddie missed the friendship and wanted to talk to them again, but I was reluctant to do so. However, I just wanted my wife happy, so I eventually gave in. Unfortunately, things took a turn and my wife developed feelings for both of them, and this hurt me immensely. I have been in a situation like this in the past, and it gave me abandonment issues. I understand that people may feel some sort of attraction to others and possibly develop feelings, but to experience it is a whole other level. This shot my confidence, increased my anxiety, and tossed me into a depressive state. I told Maddie how this made me feel, and she agreed to stop talking to them altogether. Things began to get better between us, and my emotional state was improving. After a year, Maddie once again came to me and expressed how much she missed her friends. Once again, I just wanted to make her happy and agreed to ease into the friendship again. After a couple of months, Samantha had a traumatic experience, and through that experience, I developed feelings for her, and she developed some for me. I felt uneasy about this as I am a monogamist and truly love my wife. These feelings were new, and I began to understand how people can be attracted to each other. This new experience led down a path where Maddie and I began to discuss polyamory. However, within a couple of weeks of emotional back and forth, I decided that I wanted to remain monogamous with my wife, and my wife supported my decision. We informed Rob and Samantha about our decision and laid down boundaries. We didn't talk to Samantha or Rob as much to let things settle. I became distant from Rob and Samantha and began doing my own thing while Maddie stayed in touch with them. Rob confessed his feelings once again, and my wife did not acknowledge him or his feelings. It's been about a year now, and Maddie and Rob have become really close, and I am not comfortable with this. Maddie suggested that I go to therapy to help with my abandonment issues, and I did for a few months, and the therapist told me that it is okay for me to tell her to stop talking to him. I'm in a bit of a bind because I feel that she might resent me for asking this. Maddie gets frustrated when I need reassurance because she says she has no romantic feelings for him, yet she calls him and texts him quite frequently, so much so that she talks to him more than she talks to me. I'm now back into an anxious and depressive state and have lost interest in a lot of things. I am not sure how long I can go with their friendship. So, would I be the bad guy if I were to ask Maddie to stop talking to Rob and possibly Samantha altogether? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This couple is poison for your marriage. You've all had feelings for each other at some time, which is just asking for trouble. There are more people in the world to be friends with. If your wife isn't willing to cut all ties forever, then you may have to rethink your relationship. Comment 2. This is your partner. You're allowed to communicate whatever needs, wants, and expectations you have. It's really how she responds and what you both decide to do going forward. Now for the update. My wife reconnected with a couple that almost messed up our marriage, and it's driving me nuts. I can't do this anymore, and I need to know if I'm in the wrong. A couple of weeks passed since my wife reconnected with Rob and Samantha. I tried not to think about it, but I started noticing my wife, Maddie, spending more time on her phone. It didn't help that she was often laughing during conversations. One Saturday, she invited Rob and Samantha over for dinner without asking me first. I hesitated, but finally agreed to make dinner, hoping everything would go smoothly. When they arrived, things felt a bit awkward. During dinner, Samantha said the food was good, which made me feel a bit better. The conversation shifted to a recent vacation that Rob and Samantha took, and that got everyone laughing. After dinner, we moved to the living room for drinks, and honestly, things felt a bit tense for me. I excused myself to the kitchen, needing a moment to chill. While washing dishes, I overheard Maddie and Samantha talking about a recent outing they had without me. That weekend, I found a message from Maddie on my phone asking about the dinner's vibe. I replied honestly, mentioning that I felt left out, which led to a brief argument over text. The following week, I overheard Maddie talking to Rob late at night, and that made me uneasy. I tried to bring it up during lunch, but Maddie brushed it off, saying it was just a friendly chat. I decided to check the family calendar and saw that Maddie had marked a girls' night with Samantha. I asked if I could join, but Maddie said it was a private gathering, which surprised me. On the day of the girls' night, I decided to take the kids to a movie to distract myself. After the movie, I got home early and found Maddie and Samantha laughing on the couch. The next day, I confronted Maddie about feeling left out, which led to a heated discussion. Maddie accused me of being controlling. I suggested we take a break from Rob and Samantha, but Maddie refused, saying it was unfair. The argument got worse, and I left the house to cool down. While out, I got a text from Rob asking how I was doing. I didn't respond, choosing to focus on the kids during the outing. When I got home, I found Maddie visibly upset, claiming she felt trapped. A few days later, I discovered a photo on social media of Maddie and Rob at a local event. I confronted Maddie about the photo, and we agreed to have an open conversation about boundaries. The following week, I noticed Maddie getting frequent messages from Rob late at night. One evening, I decided to confront Maddie again because she had been distant. She revealed that she had been talking to Rob about their relationship. I suggested that we both take a step back from our friendships to focus on our marriage. Maddie reluctantly agreed. The conflict came to a head when I found out that Maddie had made plans to meet Rob for lunch. I expressed my concerns, and Maddie accused me of not trusting her. I just want this whole situation to blow over already. I feel like I've been stuck in a constant state of worry and frustration. I can't keep feeling like a third wheel in my own home, or like I'm controlling my wife's friendships. I just want us to be in a good place again. But I don't see how we can get there with all this drama hanging over our heads. It's exhausting, and I don't know how much longer I can keep dealing with it. Mini update. Maddie and I had a long talk about our relationship. We decided to take a break from both Rob and Samantha. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.